How you guys doing today? It's Anthony Ganji. Welcome to another episode of Tear Talk Guys. This is to my girl down the rabbit hole. She has a great channel and she feels that she's being gaslighted a little bit because of the word dismemberment. So when it came to Celeste Rivas's case, people said that she was dismembered, and then now it's just decomposition. So basically, I got a little bit of a timeline, and this timeline will kind of clear things up of where dismemberment came from, because this is where I believe it originated, and how it got to the point where now we're just talking solely about decomposition. So by the way, down the rabbit hole, you are not being gaslit, because originally when it came out, it did come out as Celeste Rivas Hernandez being unfortunately dismembered. So on September 9, 2025, TMZ, this is from TMZ, the day after Celeste's body was found, TMZ broke the story with grisly detail, citing law enforcement sources that TMZ reported that a body found in the Tesla was chopped up and heavily decomposed. That's the quote. The Tesla impounded in Hollywood was registered to a 20-year-old singer, D4VD, or David Burke, and this initial report framed the discovery as a likely homicide due to the chopped up conditions of the remains. Now, that was TMZ, and again, TMZ updated the article later that week, but did not retract the dismemberment detail. It was attributed to unnamed police sources, always unnamed. September 9, 2025, ABC 7 Los Angeles, that's a local ABC affiliate, KABC TV, confirmed the body was found in D4VD David's impounded car, but its early reporting was more measured. ABC 7's Ashley Mackey and Sophie Flay wrote that human remains were found in the front trunk of the Tesla registered to David, and that the body had been placed inside a bag. No identity was known yet. Notably, the ABC 7 report, while calling it a gruesome discovery, did not mention any dismemberment. It stuck to what officials publicly confirmed was a decomposing body in a bag, a foul odor call, and an active LAPD investigation. Now it goes to September 16, 2025, TMZ. As the investigation progressed, media continued to echo the dismemberment claim. On September 16, TMZ published an updated headline, dismembered body found in D4VD's Tesla identified. By this time, the LA County medical examiner had tentatively identified the remains, though the name wasn't released yet. TMZ's article credited TMZ staff, again emphasized that police had worked to ID the victim ever since the body parts were found in the Tesla's trunk. This effectively repeated the claim that the victim had been dismembered or found in parts. September 17, 2025, TMZ. The next day, authorities publicly confirmed the victim's identity. TMZ, VIA, a report by TMZ staff, revealed the body was that of a 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a missing Lake Elsinore girl. Her mother had suspected it, telling TMZ that the police description of a SHHH tattoo on the victim's finger matched Celeste, who had the same red ink tattoo. In this September 17th update, TMZ still described the victim's remains as dismembered. This is the quote, cops have been working ever since the body parts were found last week inside the Tesla. This wording kept the dismemberment narrative in play, even as the focus turned to who the victim was. September 17, 2025, social media and other outlets. The sensational details of dismemberment spread widely. Complex News, for example, ran a story by news director Abel Schifferau mirroring TMZ's language. Its headlines referred to a dismembered body found in D4VD's Tesla, now being identified as a teen girl. On forums like Reddit, users shared the story with the same emphasis. A post on the r/hip hop heads announced the dismemberment body discovered in a Tesla has been identified as 15-year-old Celeste R. And cited TMZ and Complex as sources. At this stage, the idea that Celeste's body had been mutilated was taken as fact in much of the online discussion, even though only tabloid-styled outlets had reported it. September 19, 2025, Global News, Canada. More traditional news outlets were cautious with the graphic details. For instance, a global news report by Katie Scott on September 19th confirmed Celeste's identity and that her family had been notified. It described the state of the body in less extreme terms: severely decomposed, remains stuffed inside a bag in the Tesla trunk. Global News noted the case was being investigated as a homicide at that time. No mention of dismemberment was made. The emphasis was on the decomposition and the mystery of how the teen died. This reflected that authorities had not publicly described the body as dismembered, despite the early TMZ claims. Now we're going to go to September 25th, 2025. People. So by late September, many outlets shifted to what was officially confirmed. A People magazine piece by Nicola Costa, updated September 25th, focused on Celeste's missing person history and the ongoing investigation. It reiterated that the cause of death was still unknown and that D4VD David had not been named a suspect. Notably, People did not repeat any dismemberment detail. This suggests that mainstream journalists either could not verify the mutilation claim or deemed it unconfirmed. The narrative was now centered on getting autopsy results and tracing Celeste's connection to D4VD David rather than the gruesome specifics. Now we get to September 29, 2025, ABC News. In an official update, ABC News reporting Alex Stone and Meredith DeLiso underscored that the cause and manner of Celeste's death were still undetermined. The LAPD announced that the teen may have been dead for weeks before discovery, and crucially, it's in quotes, it remains unclear whether there's any criminal culpability beyond the concealment of her body, and that's per an LAPD statement. This was a significant shift in tone from the initial horror story reports. No mention of dismemberment was included in ABC's article. Instead, the focus was on the deferred death certificate and the possibility that Celeste's death might not be ruled a homicide pending further tests. In other words, by late September, the official narrative was one of uncertainty, very different from the early assumptions that she had been brutally killed. Now, September 30th, 2025, LAPD statement, local news. The following day, Los Angeles police provide a formal statement quoted by KABC TV Leanne Suter, confirming the above. They noted the Tesla had been parked for several weeks, implying the body decomposed at that time. The death certificate listed cause of death as deferred, and it even dispelled a separate rumor by stating Celeste was not pregnant. At this stage, the media narrative fully shifted to, we don't know what happened. Outlets painted out that investigators were waiting on toxicology results and had not named any suspects. Law enforcement did not address the dismemberment reports at all in public updates, effectively steering the story back to known facts. October of 2025, retractions and clarifications. Not many U.S. outlets issued explicit corrections because most had avoided stating the dismemberment as facts to begin with. However, by early October, the absence of official confirmation had become clear. For example, USA Today and The Guardian summarized the case without mentioning dismemberment, describing the body as decomposing and emphasizing the uncertainty about cause of death. Meanwhile, some international and tabloid outlets continue to cite the graphic detail. A Mirror U.S. article quoted a legal expert about the extensive decomposition and mutilation of the corpse, noting the remains were not merely decomposed, they were dismembered. An angle picked up by sites like the Hindustan Times on October 2nd. No law enforcement officials ever publicly confirmed or denied the dismemberment claim, but by this point, the official narrative was simply that Celeste's body was badly decomposed and that the cause of death remained a mystery. The early report of dismemberment, first aired by TMZ, was never corroborated by authorities and gradually receded from most mainstream coverage. So, here's the sources. Initial breaking news from TMZ on September 9, 2025 reported police found a chopped up body in D4VD's car. KABC TV Los Angeles on the same day confirmed the body in the trunk in a bag without mention of dismemberment. Subsequent TMZ updates on September 16th and 17th referred to body parts in the Tesla and identified the victim as Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Reddit users amplified the story of the dismembered body, citing Complex and TMZ, but later official reports by ABC News, Alex Stone and Meredith DeLiso, and others stressed that the cause of death was deferred and still under investigation, with LAPD Captain Scott Williams cautioning that it was unclear if a crime beyond concealing a corpse had occurred. No official statements described the body as dismembered, only decomposed, and no outlet retracted the claim outright, though most shifted to more careful language as the story developed. So I hope that helps you down the rabbit hole. I don't want anybody thinking, I just don't want you thinking. So I don't want you thinking that you have been gaslit. You are speaking what you originally read. So hopefully, if you have anybody here that watches her channel, send this over her way. I know she watches mine as well. Let her know. I didn't want her thinking that she was gaslit. I love her content. I love her confidence. I love how she pushes a good message because she truly does provide a voice for the victims. So hopefully this helps her, hold on, I'm fixing my water. Hopefully this helps her realize that she wasn't gaslit. She speaks the truth. All right, guys, as always, guys, stay safe.